drug abuse. You look at issues like theft, but also the small issues like greeting one another, speaking politely to one another. These seem to be small elements, but they are very key pillars to the morals we instill in ourselves as youth today. And I feel it's very key that we tackle this issue as soon as possible as the youth, as we help one another and also cite out the clear causes as to why these morals are decaying at a rapid rate.
Okay, thank you. Coming to you, Daphne, why is it pertinent right now for us as young people to be having a conversation about morals?
Thank you so much, Ivan. Really, when we talk about morals, we are talking about how we the young people are brought up in society and where are we as young people going in the future time. Now, when we talk about morals, we should really create a clear picture that what we are today and what we are doing now and what exactly we are involved in right now is what we are going to be tomorrow. The question is, what exactly and which code of conduct are you practicing
today
as a young person? Yes, thank you.
Amazing. Joshua, what's your perspective?
Yeah, so thank you for having me. First of all, I really have loved to have these conversations, and I think really the aspect of morality is an important one. I think that the morality bit that we are faced with, the crisis that we're faced with, is much of a tension between our earlier upbringing and then like the world in which we're now going in. I think that we've been raised traditionally, but then at the moment we're having things like technology coming through, we are having things like movies, and so there's this tension of us trying to know the things that were told in the past, but then also trying to make sense of how that stands up in the other sources of influences. And I think that's the kind of dilemma that young people are now facing.
Doris, coming to you. Basically, why do you think it's important, majorly as people who grow up together, and I'll talk in perspective of family, why should there be discussion on morals and values in families right now?
It's important to be careful about which morals you put into your children, because it's going to influence how the world is going to look at them. It's going to influence how the world looks at you. Because when you portray yourself as someone to people, they're going to treat you how you're treating them. It's going to influence who is going to become your friend, who is going to call you for that job opportunity, who is going to call you for their wedding, depending on your morals. How do you treat people? So it's very important that you pay attention to that. Yes.
Daphne, moral decay is the decry that is out in the public, and we've also seen actually right now the government is decrying that. When we look at what's happening on social media, for example, people celebrating people's death, the language that we use, what is happening and what is the picture out there in as far as morals are concerned?
All right, Ivan. Yeah, when you talk about such a statement, I imagine someone celebrating another person's death. I mean, where are we going? Where is the country going? Yeah, that brings a divergence between the African tradition setting and this current setting of our generation. Yeah, can we go back to the grassroots where we used to practice a society full of harmony and
respect?
Exactly. So when you talk about moral degeneration in society, number one, we look at the dress code. You know, Ivan, your appearance in public and wherever you move defines you a lot.
You say you are addressed by the way you dress.
Exactly, yeah. And how is a youth, a young person like me and you, dressing up in society? Should we don't be against someone who really defines you in another way because you are portraying yourself in another way because of your dress code. Number two, we talk about the profanity, that bad language we speak in society. Actually, for us, we the young people, we take it as a stylish type of language, but it's
sad. It's sad. Sorry to interrupt you, but I've been in places, and you find ladies, young girls, proudly calling themselves bitches. You know, they are so proud that
Yeah.
my beach, and
I
it's
mean-
so disgusting.
Yeah, and actually I was moving around school and I saw a book called Why Men Marry Beaches. I mean, how can you call someone a beach? You understand? And we are very okay with it. Where are we going as a country? Because what we are doing right now is what we are going to be. You understand? So can we reflect back on the words we exactly speak out? Before you speak, reflect what you're going to speak.
Yeah.
Because what you are going to speak, it is going to have an impact, not only to you, but also in your future time to come.
Not only your future, but I've had on a number of times at my neighbors, very young kids of 3 to 8.
Yeah.
You know, one running to report the other that this one said the F word to me. Just imagine, 3 to 8.
You know?
And not once, not twice. I've had them on a number of times. And that means either they've had their elder siblings, either they are on phone and they are calling it to the people they are talking to.
Yeah,
and they
true.
pick it up and use it on their fellows. Coming to you, Joshua,
Yeah.
do you think we can be able to adjust our morals and values to suit today? Because the good has become the bad and the bad has become the good. Someone was telling me about the video they were watching. There was this young man with a cup that has bad manners written on it, drinking, and the cheers were, the friends were cheering him. He was drinking bad manners.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
understand? So where do you think he's going to put the bad manners that he is drinking? So can we be able to adjust? Because one, as young people, you want to fit in.
Yeah.
You're in a group of 10 people, but you're the only one who is different. And this mostly in the international schools, for example. You'll find you've just come from your local school and stuff, you join these guys, and in a group or in the whole class, you're the person who is the odd man out. How can we be able to adjust? Or how can we mold the morals with the culture? Because much of the morals and values that we do have are attached to our culture.
Yeah.
Can we be able to adjust that to suit the .com era that we do have?
Yeah, I think it's possible. However, what I think is the product that we'll have, the end product that we'll have, will not be the kind that is like on all fours with what we had previously. But I think the most important thing is the essentials, yeah? So for instance, I think that you can look decent while not being, you can look decent while not exactly, you know, the dress code thing that you were talking about.
You can look nice, you can look glittering and stunning
Yeah,
without
crossing a particular line.
putting on half naked.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll be coming back to
Alright,
you.
alright.
Doris, how is the issue of morals and values handled in your family?
Well, you have to make sure that as a person, you don't forget where you're coming from.
No, I want in the perspective of your family. Like when you're growing up, what are those things that you know at our home, for example, this doesn't happen. At our home, you don't cross this line. Are there like set rules that you have at home? How do you handle the issue of morals and manners at your home?
Yes, for example, when I'm leaving the house and my mom is around, she'll want to see what I'm wearing. She'll be like, no, this one I don't allow. This one it's okay. And she'll tell you why she's allowing it and why she's not allowing it. And then my father has a curfew. He says, you're a girl, you're not supposed to be moving out this late at night. Because it's not safe. First of all, you're a girl, someone could just rape you. You could be robbed. There's so much going on. So they make sure that they tell you no, but with a reason, so that you understand where they're coming from. You understand that they're trying to protect you and not just limiting you for no reason.
And how has that helped you to have, you know, the values that you live by today?
I have these values they've been teaching me, they are installed in me. So when I'm out here and I'm with my peers, definitely I'm going to find people whose values are different from mine. but I have to remember where I'm coming from. I have to remember what they taught me. And I have to be careful about how I portray myself to the world, because I've been shown that when you portray yourself in a certain way, people will treat you the way you're portraying yourself. So I have to make sure that I'm careful how I show people, how I portray myself in public, because I want people to treat me in a specific way. I don't want people to disrespect me. So I have to make sure I'm dressed decently. I have to make sure I don't use vulgar language, because I don't want people to talk to me using vulgar language. I don't want people to insult me and be like, oh, that girl is...
So when someone is coming to talk to you, they know you don't talk to Doris that way.
Yeah.
Amazing. Coming to you, Carlton. Basically, as we go into a break, why do you think we are going this way? First of all, the people that are complaining there is moral degeneration, majorly they all people saying, you the young people, you no longer have manners, you no longer have what? The young people you're complaining about are coming from your homes. You understand? What has gone wrong?
Thank you so much. Going to that issue of moral degeneration, let me share with you slightly some statistics that I managed to find out. A study was made in northern and central Uganda within secondary schools by Gulu University partnering with Makerere. That was between September 2011 to April 2012. And it was found out that 70.1% of the students are using drugs and alcohol in the school. You can imagine such an overwhelming number. And like I told you, this is caused by the moral line of conduct that we keep adjusting day by day. Like I said, they are small things, but they later build to big ones. Because you talk about greeting and you say, I mean, it's something normal, but then it's something that is building within someone that is going to open them up to other bad habits. So I go back to saying that they used to say traditionally, like you talked about, that it takes a whole village to raise a child. Right now we live in a society where it's for God and my stomach, and the motto says it's for God and my country. What we are leaving our children to be, the children as the youth, to be role modeled or mentored by very odd characters in society. Before, someone who was looked at as successful, as morally virtued, was bent to certain principles, but now they are becoming more and more flexible. We are looking at social media influencers, movie actors, drug addicts. These are people society is championing. And as children, these are trends that you're going to keep following, because apparently it's what the world is accepting. So I'm calling unto you, our dear elders, that this country and these youth are yours. These are your children, these are your sons and daughters. These people need your guidance. We should not leave them to the wolves to be destroyed by the morals of the world, because like you said, what you cited out, that what is becoming, but what was bad is now good, what is good is now bad.
Perfect. You talk about parents, having that hand in their children. Actually, do they even know? I'm telling you, children are different people at home and different people when they get out there. I've talked to parents, and the perspective they have about their daughters, about their sons, is that perfect one. But also sit down to have a conversation with the child, and I'm like, oh God. We'll be right back to be able to continue with this conversation. Get onto our social media platforms at Youth of Purpose on Twitter, and you can also get onto my personal handle at I_Tumkondo on Twitter to be able to give us your opinion on today's topic. We are talking morals and values amongst the young people. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching Youth of Purpose. My name is Ivan Tumkonde. I still have Daphne, Joshua, Doris, and Carlton, and we are discussing moral degeneration amongst the young people. When we went into the break, Carlton was telling us about what he thinks are some of the things that are causing this moral degeneration amongst us. And coming to you, Daphne, to you, what do you think is causing all this moral degeneration?
Okay, number one, I'm looking at the poor housing system, where a young person, we say a family is living in one single room.
Wow.
Yeah, and of course, in that family, we are having people above 18 and the parents too. And also these young people, the kids below maybe 18 years. But guess what? What the parents are doing
The children are watching.
Exactly.
What the 18-year-old is doing, the
Exactly.
5-year-old is doing. What I talked about, that they are in one bedroom, the other one is making a call, talking to their 18 fellow, and the 5-year-old is listening.
Exactly. So I really feel like this is what this very point of action, which is going to be extended to the outside world by this young boy or girl. That is why you find, Ivan, instances where you find a young boy of 7, he's speaking something you can never imagine of. You understand?
And some parents or some people get proud of that the child is acting as a grown-up. At 7, a child is acting like a 14-year-old, and you're proud of that.
Exactly. So I think there is that point. It is a dim point where we need to put our point of emphasis. Even though you are in a single room, can you get the best way? We've seen, most of us, we've not grown up from, you know, those so-called well families.
Yes.
But how have you brought up that young person you want to see tomorrow? Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Joshua, what do you think, to your understanding, is the cause of the moral degeneration?
Yep, so the causes are many, but I'll just point out one. So I think there's lack of honesty. I think especially on the people that are grooming young people. Because, you know, especially because of the tension that I talked about. So let me just give an example of religion, for instance. So we go in church and pray, and we are told that, for instance, you're not supposed to have sex until you get married and all those things. But also the truth of the matter is that young people, for instance, given their age, they are going through a lot of things. They're meeting with people of the different sexes and all that. So when you just get a blind cover and just throw it at them, it's very difficult for them to sort of go beyond it, especially if the other side is actually going into the specifics. So if people are interacting with young people of their own and they're telling them, no, those things I told in church, don't worry about them, I've had sex and it's normal, you'll be fine, then they're actually going to go that side because first of all, those things may be aside in church, like in a blanket statement, God says don't do this, and then it stops there. But also further still, there's like a whole kind of taboo around maybe discussing those things with old people. So you have a setting of dishonesty that is really a Pandora's box for really what we're now experiencing.
Talk about the groups that young people get involved in. They're organizing house parties.
Yeah.
At the house parties is where they are going to have the cookies that are drugged. You understand? That's where they are going to meet people that are going to recruit them into LGBTQ and all that.
Yeah.
So it's so much. It's so much that is happening.
Yeah. So the thing is, young people are having questions, and if we run away from answering them, then someone else is going to answer them on their
Do the parents or the people, like you said, who are supposed to mentor the young people understand what these young people actually are doing? Are they?
Now, I think it goes back on the relationship that parents have with their young people. I don't think that they need to actually understand, but at least the young person should be able to relate with their parents, like on a personal level, like see themselves as working this thing together, so they can relate situations. Maybe this person is having an experience from some time back. They tell them that maybe in our time this is what we did, but at least when there's this kind of conversation and the young person is trying to see that you are helping them, I think that they are more inclined to sort of be a little reserved on how quick they actually respond to what other sources are telling them, rather than when you just keep quiet and just hope for the best. Yeah.
Doris, to you, what do you think is the cause?
I think the cause could be people's backgrounds, because some people have gone through things that they can't share with you. For example, maybe they come from families that are abusive, emotionally, sexually, physically. So someone coming from such a background, they've had these negative morals installed in them. Maybe in their family it's okay to use the F word. Anyone can throw it around. It's normal. So that's what they've grown up used to. So now when you find such a person and they become your friend or they become your associate, someone that you can associate with, some of these habits may rub off onto you. Some of these habits may rub off onto you. So you have to be careful with the people you associate with. Yes.
Thank you so much. Carlton, you talked about the issue of drug abuse, and you gave us some statistics which were in 2012, and I can tell you that it's worse today. I work with young people in institutions of learning, and it's worse. As we conclude, what can we be able to do to make sure that this issue is solved? One, when you talk about the drugs, I can tell you so many young people are doing drugs, and to the worst, it's now the girls that are doing drugs. So many of them, they cannot do without the drugs. What can we be able to do to make sure that we bring a solution about this and we stop lamenting, because it's worse?
Thank you so much for bringing that up, because I'm more into the business of problem solving than finger pointing. We have an issue at hand. What are we going to do about it? So one of the other issues I think we should address is, I quote it from a saying, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. We're having so many youth right now who are idle, unemployed, having nothing to do. But I feel there are certain platforms that we can use to engage this youth in useful and productive activity. Because this is a time in a life of someone where he has the most energy, brain capacity, still learning, so they can easily be influenced and be highly effective in what they're influenced in, because they have the energy to do it. But what are we engaging the youth of today? So I feel that as the government, as citizens of this country, we should put in place activities that indulge youth in productive things that help this nation. We look at, for example, sports. This is one of the largest employers of youth. If as a country we put focus in putting proper sports structures that indulge youth all the way from primary level up to the university and then professionally, we are seeing a large number of youth indulge and focus in something that is productive. Yeah. So we are seeing the time that they're going to spend in these parties, be it these basic meetings.
Watching TV, it will be less. Thank you so much, Carlton. Daphne, in only 30 seconds, what can be done at least to provide some kind of breathing space?
Okay, thank you so much, Ivan. I think for me, my humble advice should be, can we really go back to the African traditional setting and we be those people where whenever we used to pass, someone could be like, that is someone so and so's son.
Wow.
Yeah? Can we borrow a leaf from where we come from before this generation?
Amazing. You talk about where you come from, someone's son. Who is the father? Is the first question.
Exactly.
I'll be saying that you want someone to be like their father, but their father is worse.
Exactly.
Joshua, what do you think should be done in 30 seconds?
Yeah, sure. So my solution might seem a little, I don't know, set and all that, but it's actually serious. I think it's serious. So I think we need to start from the first things, which is, let us be genuine with ourselves. First of all, admit that these things exist.
Yes.
I think that every young person out there has, for instance, a parent, or maybe if they don't have a parent, a guardian or something like that. And if they are able to relate on a personal level with those people and agree that these things exist, I think that would be like this very good starting point, and then we can go ahead and, for instance, adapt what Carlton was working.
Thank you so much. Doris, what should be done?
I think that people should put, for example, parental controls on their devices, the ones they give to their children. Because of recent, you find very young children with devices, tablets, phones. Someone in P5, P1 is having a tablet. So you need to put those parental controls.
Thank you so much, Doris. We've been having Carlton, Doris, Joshua, and Daphne on Youth of Purpose, talking about the issue of moral degeneration. What can we be able to do to make sure that that issue is solved? And thank you so much for being part of this show. I thank you so much for watching this show. I encourage you to play your part. If I do my part, you do your part, we can make a difference. Parents, please have honest conversations with your children. And when your children have problems like these, they are abusing drugs and stuff, please get them people that can talk to them professionally to help them. Don't hide them because you don't want people to find out that your child actually is having a mental issue or things to do with drug abuse. Please find professional people that can be able to help them. Many parents have reached out to me seeking help on how their children who are abusing drugs, because they've had honest conversations and they've opened up spaces to talk to their children, and their children open up. So create that space that your child can open up to you when they are having that challenge. Thank you so much for watching this show. See you next time.
Youth of Purpose. UBC, inspiring Uganda. This weekend on UBC.
Amazing can be the word used to describe this young lady, but trust me, that is an understatement.
Did I say hi guys or hi everyone? That is excellent. Hi guys, I am Josephine Kabahuma, an actress, writer, producer and author from Uganda.
Every time I eat matoke in the morning, it treats me bad.
Are you pregnant?
No, that's out, doctor. She can't be pregnant.
And did someone tell you she can't?
This weekend on UBC.
Chitamulange chitengecha chirabe chitunulanga masagana kwa chirabe chirunji chakirawo mumbecha chirabe chibonya chibuga Kampala chirabe Masnali Washington chechimu chirabe chitamulange chitengecha chirabe chitunulanga masagana kwa chirabe chirunji chakirawo mumbecha chirabe chibonya chibuga Kampala chirabe
nsanyusa okulaba MVP.
Nange nsanyusa okulaba MVP.
Kiki bayita bebi ekyo ekyebire?
Gwe watonde bamukyakatonda obulungi bwolina bebi si bwakusonda egwe ansaliza okukira ensaali meneka gwe yoneka kati kameka
Era nkakasa nti eno essuula empya gye tutandise egenda kutwongera okutuzimba. Njagala tukuuma obukakkamu, tukuuma omukwano gwaffe, buli kimu tujja kituukako.